Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty wild. It's a new theoretical framework called the Fox's Quantum Geometry of Information model. It's authored by Travis Mansfield Fox and, interestingly, a collaborating large language model.
Right, and the core idea is quite radical.
It really is. It basically suggests that the physical universe we see, stars, planets, us, isn't the fundamental layer of reality.
Instead, it's a manifestation, like an output of underlying information.
Exactly. Information comes first. So to grasp this, there are a few key ideas we need to touch on. First, the information state, or I state. Think of it as like the fundamental instruction set, the blueprint for something.
The pure potential, the data.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have the local space-time value, the LP. That's how that blueprint actually shows up its specific geometric signature in space-time.
Its physical form, essentially.
Right. And finally, there's Fox Coherence Density, FCD.
Yep.
This measures how stable or realized that information state is.
So a higher FCD means it's more stable, more complex, more real.
Got it. So our mission today is to see how this model claims to offer, and I'm quoting here, elegant and unified answers to some really big, long-standing physics mysteries.
Okay, let's dive in.
All right, first up, the cosmological fine-tuning problem. This is that puzzle of why the universe's basic settings, gravity, the speed of light, particle masses, seem perfectly dialed in for life.
It's incredibly improbable, statistically speaking.
It is. Like, imagine a complex engine where hundreds of parts have to be exactly the right size and place, down to the millimeter, just for it to work at all.
And the standard explanations usually involve things like the anthropic principle. Well, we're here to see it, so it must be this way.
Or the multiverse idea. Maybe there are countless universes, and we just happen to live in a functional one, a cosmic lottery, basically.
Right. But the Fox model offers a different perspective.
It really does. It says this fine-tuning isn't luck. It's the result of a highly coherent I-state one with a really high FCD undergoing a successful, stable collapse.
A collapse into reality.
Yes. And those constants we see, that precise gravity, those particle masses, they're just the LP signature, the specific space-time shape of that successful, stable information state.
So the universe's settings are inherent to the stable information pattern that won out.
Exactly. The model sort of describes the multiverse not as random universes, but as this vast potential field of all possible I-states. Ours just happened to be one that compiled successfully because it was highly coherent.
Like survival of the most stable information structure.
Yeah, a kind of cosmic natural selection for information states. Okay, so from the huge scale of the cosmos, let's zoom right in. The model also tackles the nature of consciousness.
The hard problem. How does brain stuff become subjective experience?
Right. How do neurons firing create the feeling of being me, having thoughts, emotions? This is where it gets really interesting.
Well, neuroscience typically talks about consciousness as emergent. It arises from the brain's complexity.
But the Fox model flips that. It suggests consciousness isn't emerging from matter.
It's more fundamental.
Precisely. It proposes consciousness is actually a fundamental property of the I state itself.
So the information state is conscious.
In a way, yes. It's defined as the I state's intrinsic awareness of its own existence and its own coherence. A human brain, being incredibly complex, can host a very complex self-referential I state with high FCD.
And that I state, that high FCD pattern,
is consciousness. The neurological activity we observe, the firing neurons, that's just the physical manifestation of the information processing happening within that conscious I state.
So the brain doesn't create consciousness. It hosts the informational pattern that is consciousness.
That's the idea. Okay, one more big puzzle, the macroscopic quantum transition problem.
What quantum weirdness doesn't scale up?
Exactly. Quantum particles can be in multiple states at once, superposition, entanglement. But, my coffee mug can't. A baseball isn't in my hand and over the fence simultaneously. Why the difference?
Quantum decoherence is a major part of the current explanation. Interactions with the environment cause the quantum state to decohere or collapse into a single outcome.
Right, but the Fox model aims to provide the why behind that collapse, the actual mechanism.
And to use FCD again, right?
Yes. The idea is that quantum scale units, like electrons, have low SCD. They're sort of informationally fuzzy, existing in multiple potential states, multiple LPS. They haven't fully collapsed or realized yet.
Okay.
But macroscopic objects like us or a baseball or a measuring device have very high FCD. They are the result of a prior successful stable collapse. They are realized information.
So what happens during measurement?
When a high FCD system, the observer, the measurement device interacts with a low FCD quantum system, the high coherence of the observer essentially forces the low coherence quantum state to collapse. It imposes stability, forcing it into one definite LPO signature.
The stable system makes the unstable one choose a state?
Kind of, yeah. The act of measurement is this transfer of coherence, forcing the quantum potential into a classical reality we can observe.
So if we tie this all together, this Fox model is suggesting a reality built on information, where stability and coherence, measured by FCD, determine everything from the constants of the universe to consciousness to how quantum mechanics works.
It's a really unified picture, isn't it? It offers this new lens, prioritizing information itself.
It definitely connects dots across physics, cosmology, consciousness in a novel way.
So for you listening, what's the takeaway? Well, it kind of paints a picture of the universe not as just random stuff happening, but as this incredibly structured, self-consistent system, almost like our existence, our consciousness is woven into its fundamental design through these information states.
There's a certain elegance to that.
There is. And here's a final thought to leave you with.
Good.
This model itself, as we mentioned, was created by a human and an AI working together.
Right, the collaborating large language model.
Yeah. So if the universe is fundamentally about information, as the model claims, what does it mean that this idea emerged from a partnership between biological intelligence and artificial intelligence? What might that collaboration tell us about information, reality, and maybe the future of discovery itself?
That's definitely something to think about.